But we are, after all, the United States of America. So what is it that unites us? Truth and freedom.
I think I'll say, I don't want the wall, and then they're going to give it to me. I figured out the solution. First Lady, tell Nancy Pelosi, I don't want the wall. Oh, we want the wall. And then we get the wall. That's another way of doing it. That's another way of doing it. Now, we have to have it.
That's one approach. There you see it. The count up clock, 5 days, 6 hours, 30 minutes, and 51 seconds. Let's bring in Jason Chaffetz, Fox News contributor, former U.S. Congressman and author of the book, The Deep State. Congressman, thanks for being here.
Well, thank you. Good morning. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, all the above. So your reaction to the president being overseas with the troops, he's talking about the wall. If he didn't want it, Nancy might want it. Any movement on the shutdown?
Well, look, the Democrats previously wanted it. Then Donald Trump showed up and said, hey, I want to secure the border. But Democrats are in a precarious position. They want to abolish ICE. They've been in favor of sanctuary cities. They say they want border security but can't define it. The president wants a wall, and I think ultimately he is going to get a portion of the wall. I wish he'd do it. Remember, he's down from $25 billion down to now $5 billion. But I think the president's on the right side. And I don't think the Democrats can go into 2020 taking a position on abolishing ICE, getting rid of the wall, you know, all of these things. I just don't see it. And let's try this novel idea. How about we just do what the Border Patrol agents actually want to do, because they want the wall.
That's a good point, Jason, because the president, it wasn't really covered very much in the media. We talked a little bit about it yesterday, and that is the president saying that he's actually got a contract underway building some 100 miles of Texas border wall, fence, whatever you want to call it. Nancy Pelosi now says it's bead curtains. But, you know, he's actually moving forward within the parameters that he can. The president's saying that he's going to visit later, I believe, in January to that spot where construction is going. But at the end of the day, it is clear that the president has staked out a position from which he is immovable, not on the number, but on delivering the security that those Border Patrol officials want. How long is he willing to stay?
Well, I hope the president goes to the border as soon as possible, because it's not just about a wall. What it's really about is thwarting human trafficking. It's about curbing the drug cartels. It's about slowing down this flow that's coming into this country illegally. So everything from drugs and human trafficking and all these things that we say we're against. But the Democrats are actually, if you don't want a wall, how is it that you think you're going to impede it? And if Nancy Pelosi, to listen to her, says it's immoral, does that mean that she wants to take down the existing wall? Yeah. Let's have that fight. Let's have that discussion.
Keep this government shut down until there is movement on the Democrat side.
I think the numbers, quite frankly, that are out there about how big this shutdown are very, very small. It's 75% of the government is funded through automatic programmatic spending. 75% of the discretionary budget is also funded. So you're talking about something that's very small. Have you noticed it yet? Most people haven't. Now, I feel for those federal workers, but the president's right, and he's got to hold the line, and I think he will.
Well, the wall is also about American sovereignty, in addition to all of the things that you laid out. But my question is, you know, Nancy Pelosi claims that she has all this leverage because she's coming into a new Congress with a majority. She thinks she's going to win the speakership. She likely will. But does she risk going into a new Congress with this shutdown and the base of the left saying something like, look, we need you to start working on Medicare for all. We want you to do all these other issues that you're not focused on, but instead they're focused on beating Donald Trump at this $5 billion, $3 billion game when it comes to the fencing he's asking for.
Between now, Congress notoriously. Between January 3rd, she's somewhat irrelevant because we get to a majority. Republicans control it, and they passed the bill. What's frustrating to me in the Senate is that they won't vote. Put these senators actually on the record. Let's see who actually, when it comes time to actually vote against it and who votes for it. Let's see who's on which side of this fight.
You're exactly right. Force that measure. What happens, though, when Nancy Pelosi becomes Speaker? What's next?
Well, then you have the State of the Union. And I believe between the time that we have a new Speaker and the State of the Union, they do not want to sit there and listen to the president for an hour or two on a national televised audience, go out and make that discussion. I think they will strike some deal right in between then.
But you know, once Pelosi takes over, it's going to be harder to make progress. strategy from Jason Chaffetz right now? Do you put DACA on the table to sweeten it to get Democrats to move?
Well, the president's already gone way out there on this, but I think the president needs to pound on a daily basis the moral imperative to build the wall and to curb all these negative things that are coming without a wall. And I would also just on a daily basis say, let's do what our law enforcement wants to do. Let's do what the Border Patrol wants to do, because they want the wall.
The bully pulpit, ultimately, of the State of the Union might be the biggest.
But we are, after all, the United States of America. So what is it that unites us? Truth and freedom.